Ladies, let me remind you of something. You do not need a man. I hope at this point, and I think at this point, we're aware of that. Like, that's pretty obvious at this state in the game. You can want a partner. You can want a man. You can want that vision for your life. But what you cannot do is shrink yourself, lower your standards, and choose a man or try to be chosen by a man and force things to work just so you have a man or just so you have that partner.
That is without a doubt the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Well, when it comes to dating men, I hate to break it to you, sister, but you kinda do. From a biological standpoint, that's literally the reason why you exist. Find a suitable mate, create offspring, and preserve your genetic code. From a psychological standpoint, you do need a man because, well, look at you. You're trying to convince yourself that you don't need one when it's obvious to everybody that you do. And from a societal standpoint, you definitely need men because you're not only incapable, but you're also unwilling to do the jobs that men do on a regular basis to keep society going. It's not our fault that you decided to go after the wrong guys, but I guess it's just easier for you to blame all of us so you can yet again avoid all forms of accountability for your terrible life choices.
Or just so that you feel wanted or needed or validated. If you are not choosing a partner based on your boundaries, your needs, what you need in a partner, what you need for your future, your vision for your life, you are consciously choosing that partner and building a life with them, you're better off alone.
All right.
And here's reason number 7,426 on why men have checked out on relationships. Modern women demand that a man respects her needs and her boundaries, which directly translates into her making an average man wait for any kind of physical or emotional intimacy, while Chad got to cut to the front of the line back when she was at peak value. Meanwhile, the man has to disregard all of his wants and needs to be with a woman who's so damaged she refuses to allow a man to lead the relationship, but isn't capable of being able to lead either. This is why men don't want partners. Partners are for treasure hunters and business tycoons. Men want girlfriends and wives, but you don't want a husband or a boyfriend. You want a doormat, a man who's gonna put up with your damage while providing nothing in return. And sorry, woman, we're not willing to be your psychological punching bag. We got better things to do.
Wish I could stay, but I got a thing. Bye.
How would you feel about your man sharing your with his buddies?
Be so pissed. I would tell him to delete it, or I'll delete it myself off his phone. It's just rude. And
So pissed? Would you slash his tires?
yeah, I would.
Have you ever slashed a guy's tires?
Yeah, I have.
Oh, shit.
He deserved it though.
What did he do? How many? All four?
I believe you. Fucking cheated on me.
How? All four tires?
That's a bit.
No, I did one, so he doesn't claim insurance.
Good.
Hey, are we criminals just because we committed a crime?
Oh, that's good.
Nothing says I'm an oppressed girl boss bae yas queen victim quite like wantonly destroying another man's property because he cheated on you. Lady, we both know that if that man were to destroy your car because you hopped into Chad's bed, you would be calling the cops, pressing full charges, and demanding the court that he replace your tires. But the sick part of all of this is how you can not only admit to committing this crime without any repercussions, legal or otherwise, but you're also celebrated for being a boss bae yas queen because you assumed Chad's loyalty to you. I swear to the lemon-scented salvation of the intergalactic space god Torgachard, all hail, that Carrie Underwood and that crappy baseball bat country song has ruined society worse than any infidelity ever could. So thanks for nothing, Carrie Underwood.
Oh, I heard if you do Be careful, Brian.
Yeah, you done it to any other guys or just that guy?
Just that guy.
Did you destroy any of his other property?
No, the other ex, I bleach all of his clothes in the bathtub.
Oh, what?
Man, that's just mean. That's mean, man.
Hang on a second. How could it be that if you slash a man's tires for cheating on you, you're empowered and justified? But if you throw that dude's clothes in a bathtub and pour bleach all over them, that's somehow crossing the line? Replacing ruined clothing is a hell of a lot easier and a lot less inconvenient than having to replace a full-on tire. But one is a literal crime and the other is just a douche thing to do. But I digress. That's honestly besides the point. The real point is that if you're constantly going out with men which make you feel like you have to ruin their personal personal belongings because they're constantly cheating on you, then maybe you need to take a smidgen of responsibility because you chose to stay with them when they never had any obvious intention of being loyal to you. But I guess if you did that, you wouldn't be celebrated for your absurd double standards, because let's face it, if a man bleached all of your designer clothes, you would be Googling how to hire a hitman.
You know that. Of course I do, sir. Everybody knows that. Of course we do, sir.
The reason I'm single is because I choose to be single. The reason I'm single is because my standards are so high that it limits the ability for toxic people to come into my life and trap me or trick me or manipulate me or lie to me. And therefore, I choose myself.
And let me know when Elvis gets here.
This might be a controversial take, but I actually believe it's impossible for a damaged woman to have high standards because she can't even articulate what those standards are. Instead of actually giving concrete examples of what she wants, she just uses nonsense terms like emotionally available and fully healed, even though she has no idea what those terms even mean. Now, as men, we know what she means. Her high standards is that she wants a rich man who will spend endless amounts of money on her, but at the same time put up with their trauma and be willing to wait 6 months for bedroom fun that can only be described as less than adequate. This man must also be okay if she cheats on him the second Ray Ray texts her after 6 months worth of ghosting. Meanwhile, she can treat that man like dirt, withhold all forms of intimacy at a moment's notice, and refuse to provide him any peace with the justification that she's broken and needs time to heal, which she does by going to therapy for an hour twice a month, at your own expense, of course.
I choose my dreams. I choose my mental health and my well-being. I choose my personal growth and success, and I'm investing in myself while I wait for the person who is worthy of my love, because I am working on being healed, whole, and fully me, and loving me and accepting me rather than wasting my time on empty relationships.
What's that, shit? It's a shit smell. Is that you? Smells like pop-pop.
Oh, woman, be serious. You honestly don't expect any of us to believe that you're actually taking any steps to deal with your issues, do you? If you were, you wouldn't need to use buzzwords like healed, whole, and fully me. You'd actually be putting in the work and proving it with your actions, but you clearly haven't done a single thing. There isn't a man on this earth who's worthy of your love because you have none to give. Your obvious baggage prevents you from getting close to anybody, and you said it yourself. You're sitting and waiting for this man to show up as if we have nothing better to do than deal with your garbage. You're banking on the notion that there's this perfect guy out there who's just gonna swoop in and rescue you from your problems, and you expect this guy to magically fix you when you are so broken, you are beyond any hope.
Good luck.
Never tell a man what you want, and these are the reasons why. The most important thing for any man is to feel free. So the more you tell him what you want, the more he will feel pressured and the less he will actually want to do it for you. And men have this incredible talent to just switch off and to not listen anymore. Did you know that men only listen to 25% of what a woman is telling them? And from the 25%, they will only remember 5%.
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening.
Oh, you silly, dusty, crusty old broad. There's a million reasons why a man doesn't remember certain things, but your immediate reason is just to assume that the man is being nefarious and intentionally not listening to you because of a desire to be free. Now, most men, if they actively tune you out, it's because they've grown sick of your constant nagging and complaints. But we're not talking about most men. What you're saying only applies to Count Raphael del Tyronius IV, mainly because he doesn't care. He doesn't have to. He's Count Raphael del Tyronius IV, not your significant other. He knows that you'll provide him with the bedroom fun he wants, and all he has to do is spend a few bucks every now and again on food. And if you nag him too much, he'll just leave. He's the Count. Trust me, he has immediate better options at the push of a button.
And it's so easy to test a man on this. For example, give him some random information, like, don't forget, next Saturday at 9 o'clock we have that dinner with my parents. And before next Saturday comes, he will ask you at least 5 more times to remind him when that dinner was again. So therefore, what you should do, instead of telling a man how you want to be treated, what you want from him, show him what you want. Because men themselves are all about actions. So what you say they will forget, but what you do, they will remember.
Great plan.
Thank you.
He likes your plan, Chief.
Lady, men don't like to be tested by women. It's kind of insulting. We actually do have brains. They just work differently than yours. Well, all right, to be fair, they would if yours actually function. Instead of doing all of these elaborate communication schemes that will ultimately end with you being butthurt, just take the path of least resistance and tell him what you want and what you expect. If he wants to be with you, he'll pay attention. That's why the man will constantly ask you to remind him about the Saturday dinner with your parents. He knows it's important and doesn't want to forget. But if the Count is just looking for a little shore leave at your scum port of unfulfilling regrets, then he won't give a damn about you or your parents. Nor should he. He's the Count.
For example, you enter a restaurant and you want him to take your coat, because that is what a gentleman does. So what you do is you turn your back to him, and while you do that, you let your coat hang a little bit. So now he will understand what he has to do. Or you want him to buy you flowers because he hasn't bought you flowers in such a long time. Instead of asking him, and then also you seem like a weak, nagging woman, buy flowers for yourself. And you know what will happen? You will inspire him to make sure that next week you have that on your table. And let me tell you a little secret, ladies. A man will treat you the way you treat yourself. So if your core belief is that you don't really think you're worthy of flowers, you can ask him all you want, but you'll probably never end up with a bouquet.
Idiots! It's simple!
Am I the only one who thinks flowers are a minefield that are best left avoided at all costs? Now hear me out. Let's just say that a man does buy his woman some flowers. The odds of him buying the wrong kind, spending the wrong amount of money, either getting too many or not enough, or even the wrong color are far too high. And it will all end with the woman being even more upset than she was before. And that's even if the woman wants flowers at all. Let's be real. For every woman who says she wants flowers, there's like 10 more who say that women don't want flowers. And if you are a woman who wants flowers, you don't even know why you want them. They were originally used to try to mask the body odor of women who didn't have the luxury of bathing every day, and for corpses for the exact same reason. Buying you flowers is an empty gesture and just a representation of who you are as a person who gives out terrible advice. It's just a bunch of weeds clad in a whole bunch of different colors, cut from the roots and thrown into a bucket of water and left out to dry on a windowsill as they slowly but surely die alone. And that is going to do it for today's video, gentlemen and gents. And as always, if you find that my particular brand of humor is bringing you to the brink of laughter, then why don't you scroll on down and click that like and subscribe button and ring the notification bell, leave a couple of comments, share this video. Let's give the good old-fashioned middle finger to the YouTube algorithm. Now go make like Tango and Cash and be freaking awesome, gentlemen and gents. And until next time, peace out, homies.